Hi everyone, Pam Gregory, astrologer. I'm going to be speaking to you today about the first half of November and in particular the new moon that we have coming up in Scorpio on the 11th. But first of all, just as background, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Uranus-Pluto square. Now this is a long-running aspect. It's been running for over 3 years now. And although it won't be absolutely exact again this time around, the two planets are coming closer to that point of exactitude, and whenever aspects are more exact, we tend to get more of their manifestations. So, for instance, over the last month, when we had the new moon in Libra, we had the Sun and Moon in a T-square to Uranus and Pluto, so it was shining a lot. They were shining a light on that Uranus-Pluto square. And then at the full moon in Taurus, again later in the month in October, we had Mercury forming a T-square to Uranus and Pluto. So that Uranus-Pluto symbolism has been very highlighted over the last month. And consequently, we've seen it manifesting in the world. In my monthly newsletters, I talk a lot about world events which are in line with whatever the planetary patterns are at the time, and certainly with Uranus and Pluto, some of the classic manifestations are big cyber attacks and extreme weather, and we've certainly seen those in October. But remember that the deeper message of Uranus-Pluto aspects is to shake us out of our old stale ways of being, to shake us out of old patterns, to awaken us. Uranus is the planet of awakening, to awaken us to a new way of being and shift our consciousness. And a lot of people have been experiencing that over the last couple of years. Also importantly, in November on the 12th, the nodes change signs. Now these are the nodes of the moon and they shift backwards through the signs. So in September 2013 we started a series of eclipses, because eclipses can only happen when they're very close to the nodes. We started a series of eclipses in Aries and Libra. And we had those all through 2014 and 2015, but now we're moving into a series of eclipses up until early 2017, in fact, of Virgo Pisces eclipses. So if you see where Virgo and Pisces fall in your birth chart, they are likely to be areas of quite significant change over the next 18 months until they shift again, in fact, into Leo and Aquarius in early 2017. So if we think about the symbolism of Virgo and Pisces, it's very much about small daily acts of kindness. It's about devoting self to a cause greater than self. It's about a sense of devotion and spiritual service. So seeing where they fall in your chart will really help you understand the meaning of this over the next 18 months. And it's also about cleaning up the earth. Virgo is an earth sign and it's the sign most associated with cleaning up. And Pisces is about tuning into the oneness, tuning into the interconnectedness of the universe, tuning into nature, recognizing that we are all one. So I think those themes are going to be coming through more strongly as we move through 2016. But then on the 11th of November, we have our new moon at 19 degrees of Scorpio. And this happens at 9:47 Pacific and 5:47 UK time. So see where 19 degrees of Scorpio falls in your chart. And particularly if you have anything between 16 and 22 degrees of Scorpio, or any planet in any of those degrees of any fixed sign, Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, you're likely to strongly feel this. There's going to be quite a lot of emotional intensity around this new moon because that is the nature of Scorpio. But new moons are always new beginnings, so it's a great time each month to set a new intention at this new moon. And it's also going to be a very perceptive and insightful new moon because we have the Sun, the Moon and Mercury all in very positive aspect to Chiron. So Chiron always wants us to see things from a higher perspective. So watch for signs, signals, messages coming to you, particularly if you feel they're coming from a higher source, because that's the orientation of Chiron. And it wants us to shift from an everyday perspective to the perspective of our highest self. What would my highest self think about this situation? What is the greatest vision I can cultivate at this time around this situation, depending on where this new moon falls in your chart? So it's tuning us into a higher vibration. So really watch for that at this new moon. Also, other very positive things happening in the first half of the month. From the 1st to the 8th, we have Venus and Mars together. They're moving together from about 22 of Virgo right through to the end of Virgo. So again, see where that falls in your chart. If that falls in your 5th house, that could well be a new romance coming in for you. 7th house, equally an important new romance. If it's the 11th house, that could be new, very pleasurable social activities that you're getting involved in. If it's in the 10th house, it could represent a lot of activity, but also success. So seeing where it falls for you in your birth chart will make a significant difference to the additional meaning for it. Also, for the first half of the month, we have the continuing Jupiter trine to Pluto, and this is a really wonderful aspect. It's about confidence, it's about a feeling of achievement, it's about going for it, really deciding to take on the challenge, and it's usually associated with a lot of success, wisdom, and sometimes abundance. And often it's someone who's helping you from behind the scenes as well. So if you see where 17 to 18 degrees of Virgo falls in your chart, that's where Jupiter is by now. 17 to 18 degrees of Virgo, and just watch for success coming in that area of life for you. Also, at the time of the new moon, on the 11th and also the 12th, we have a peaking in a series of meteor showers. And these are called North Taurus. And you can get more information if you'd like to get that on from the NASA website. But meteor showers happen when a comet is breaking up and materials from the comet fall from Earth in the form of meteor showers. So they're considered to be very auspicious, and they're considered to be bringing new things, new material to the Earth. So again, an even bigger and better idea to wish upon a star and set a new intention at that new moon. Then on the 18th of November, we have Neptune going stationary direct. Now, whenever a planet goes stationary, its symbolism is magnified. So around the 18th of the month, I'd really ask you to tune into your dreams, keep a dream diary, be aware of your intuition, really try and tune in, whether it's to nature or music or energy or whatever it is. Get a feeling of connection, because that can bring you some really high level information. It's really wonderful. But what's interesting as well is Neptune is about idealism, compassion, it's about our highest vision. But in November and through much of 2016, it's going to be squared by Saturn. Now, this is going to be very interesting, and I'm going to be talking much more about this aspect in the next video and the many possible meanings that could come from this. But certainly Saturn is about what's real, what's tangible, what's solid. It's about hard work as well. Whereas Neptune is the dream, is as I say, our highest vision. It's our idealism. So one very positive aspect of this can be making real the dream, putting the work in to achieve your dream. However, in a less positive way, thinking of Saturn in Sagittarius particularly as about our authenticity, our integrity, and living our truth. When it's squared by Neptune, that can bring in some things not quite being what they seem, or what's real and what's not. So there could be issues of trust coming up. Things that our leaders state or promise may slip or dissolve a little, or again, not be quite what they seem. So we're going to have a bit of shifting sands with this aspect, I think. Think of Neptune as the lord of the sea, as creating a sort of undertow, how the sea comes in and pulls back the sand underneath. Think of it as an undertow, so whatever is apparently real and solid and stated, there could be an undertow that just pulls it away. But as I say, I'll talk about it in more detail next time. But one very obvious manifestation of this symbolism, I think, is Saturn, to me, very much represents the establishment. Traditional structures in society, the political structure, the economic structure, the medical structure, things that have built up very solidly over time and have gained respect over time. But now, Neptune is creating that undertow and perhaps asking some questions about the validity of those structures. And perhaps Neptune is bringing in more idealism, a higher vision, a greater sense of interconnectedness, a greater sense of all of us being energy and the whole universe being vibrating energy. And in that paradigm, those traditional structures have to be eroded in some way. So it's a really interesting time of shifting sands and shifting paradigms, I think. So if you'd like more information about my book or my free monthly newsletter where I discuss a lot of the manifestations of the planetary symbolism going through the month, just check out my website, pamgregory.com or www.thenextstep.uk.com. You can find a link for my audiobook there, and also if you'd like to check out my tutorials, just look at the link appearing above me here or below in the description, and that will take you to my store where you can buy a 2-part tutorial video series, and that will explain really simply and clearly to you how you can find where all these aspects that I've talked about today fall in your birth chart and what they mean for your life. And I'm really getting a lot of feedback from people saying how helpful they're finding these. So do check those out, and I hope you enjoy them too. So have a wonderful first half of November and an absolutely magnificent new moon in Scorpio on the 11th. And thanks for listening.